Hi, I'm Aaron with 1BP2 Retro. Welcome back. This is an awesome day. This is a bit of an opening. We are going to go all cereal today. I can't wait. I've got a package from, let's see, the company I got this from was Amiga on the Lake. Of course, I'm going to have to edit out the fact that I think I showed you the address on the other side. But today we're going to open this up and hopefully be able to go Mondo cereal. Checking the time because you know what, we're gonna be able to do this quickly. Oh, it looks like I already cut all along here, but that was not the places that I needed to cut. I also need to cut along here, and I need to cut along here, I think. And ho, here we go. Amiga on the Lake. We have two items in here. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, one. The expander. This will allow me on a Commodore 64 and 128 have multiple cartridges at one time. Or be able to switch quickly between multiple cartridges. Look at that. Oh boy. Reset button there. We have 3 expansion slots. In this back one, you can either use the top or the inside. You can actually use 2 cartridges in there if those cartridges use completely separate address lines. And of course, we have the ability to set the address lines for all of these. Oh, isn't that interesting? What is that? Is that dust? That is something. I can't tell what that is. I'm going to want to clean that up a little bit. But in theory, look at that. Look at this. This hasn't been used. This is a brand spanking new, I think. This just looks like maybe poorly cleaned up. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, so they had one of these, and yeah, it was made in 2010 by Retro Innovations. So I need that to be able to use multiple cartridges. And of course, why would I want to use multiple cartridges? Well, let's just say I have a diagnostics cartridge, like the most recent Des Test Max that I showed in the last video, and I wanted to use it along with a serial port, specifically a SwiftLink. That's right, we're going to use this brand new SwiftLink clone, built in 1990 by Dr. Evil Labs, so it's new old stock, but it's brand new, never used as well. And we're going to use this to do some of our RS-232 diagnostics on that Commodore 64 bread bin that we weren't able to get the VIC-II to light up other than the gray line down the side. This is so cool. I've owned a SwiftLink in the past. I had 2 real SwiftLinks. Each one was being used for the bulletin board systems that we were running. Ramifications was the big one that we were running, which for those that were in Canada and remember the Hamilton Commodore user group, once the Hamilton Commodore user group shut down, we picked up where it left off with their bulletin board system presence with Ramifications. It was running on, originally, yeah, it was running on a SwiftLink, but the Ed Perry BBS version 4.8, which we had the intellectual property rights to, we had increased its capability to go all the way up to reliably 33.6. Theoretically 33.6. We had it running at 14.4 baud for lack of a better term. It technically wasn't baud, but that's a different story. And could easily run at 9600 baud off of a SwiftLink. That was freaking cool. And of course, we had 4 1581s plus Lieutenant, was it a Lieutenant Colonel, or it was the CMD 40 hard disk drive and a RAM disk, which had RAM drives that we were able to run all of our custom-made Doors-like programs on EBBS 4.8. Again, I was maintaining the basic and assembly code on that at the time, and we had somebody else that was doing the low-level assembly and machine language for rewriting the kernel routines for RS-232 interface. Those were the freaking cool hacking days that I love, and I'm hoping in other videos I'm going to be able to show you the use of SwiftLink, and maybe in this video other serial devices. But primarily we're going to play with SwiftLink. We're going to get it up and working with the DesTest Max SL SwiftLink. And we're also going to connect to some beta bulletin board systems that I have been working on. So stay tuned. This is going to be excellent. Welcome to One Maybe Two Retro. I'm glad you joined this journey, and are you ready for some serial madness? All right, I'm back. Aaron, One Maybe Two Retro. We are focusing on serial devices today. We are going to get our new Expander 3 set up and hopefully working with our DesTest. I won't keep saying DesTest SwiftLink edition, which means we do need a SwiftLink to also work in this expander. We need both to work at the same time together. So all these items are going to work together when we're done here, or at least that's the plan. I've got my known good Rev A board, Commodore 64. This was the first Rev A board that you saw me work on. It's good enough for this type of testing. And we have our USB to RS-232, USB A to RS-232. We're going to do it on the PC today using a piece of software called Buddy. I'm sure many of you watching this would have heard of that. It's freeware that's available to download. I'm working with a new Mac. Well, actually, this is an older Mac Mini, my M1. I've moved it down into my office here since I got a new M4 laptop to do my video editing. So I'm hoping that will reduce the amount of time to delivery and create a much more efficient recording environment. So the first thing we're going to do, I've got all my tools here. The one question you need to ask yourself is, are you ready for some DesTest Max SL serial communication from Rev-5 known working device? We'll plug it in. I'm just going to demonstrate that, yes, our Rev-A is ready. So now I'm going to turn that off, and I'm just going to validate that we have our card set up for our DesTest Max SL settings. Just make sure I don't rip away a monitor here. There we go. Survey says. All right, there it is. Now it has some important notes here. It is waiting for an active connection now. Just switching keywords here. We're going to be using Putty on the PC. So our next test is we're going to put in our unconfigured board with our DesTest Max. So we're going to have to ensure that power is turned on. Yeah, that looks good. We need the ROM high turned on, and we need The third in is game turned on. EXROM left off. And we're going to have the IO 01, 02. We're going to leave those as they are. We will plug in our cartridge here. And then we will plug in our cartridge here. And fingers crossed, it should work. Are you ready? Yes, first time. We have DesTest Max SL running on this unit. Okay, we're going to turn this off. Ooh, I noticed that the back power was on. Well, something else we're going to do here is we're going to take our cord, our RS-232 to USB cord. We're going to plug this into our PC. There we go. So it's at the ready. And now let's take our SwiftLink and we're going to plug it in. We're going to turn on its power, and I'm going to assume that we can just leave it just like that. Let's plug it in. Of course, this card's getting really big. Oops. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. There we go. That's plugged in. Okay, look, my cord acts as a nice little stand for that. Here we go. Are you ready? Oh, excellent. So DesTest Max SL is still running with the RS-232 card plugged in. So it's at least it's not affecting that at all. Now, this is a straight RS-232 connector. I need an adapter to go from RS-232 to null modem. And as I explained in my previous video, all null modem does is essentially it crosses over to transmit and the receive. So when one computer transmits, it's received on the receive channel on the other serial and vice versa. So we're going to plug this in. Holy cow. Make sure that you can see that. I'm going to plug this in right here. It's got a nice little chain here. Good. So let's try this again. We're going to start recording here. In our DesTest diag cart thinny configuration, we have a serial connection set up at 38400 as described here. I'm gonna turn it on now. Are you ready? Okay, so there we see the test cartridge. It says that we should be set up for 3840 communications, data bits of 8, stop bits of 1, parity none, flow control. We'll just use regular X on, X off. The terminal, we are going to, we're going to use, I think it defaults to an ANSI style terminal from the get-go, so don't have to worry about that. We've saved it. We're going to apply it. So here we go. I'm not seeing any communication. So while it's red, it's running its test, and then it cycles to yellow, or maybe in red, running its test, and then when it cycles to yellow, it outputs the results of that specific test. So without taking this out, we have power going to this. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be a game or an XROM. I think we just need to set this to a different address. Now it does say that it needs to run on D0. Well, let's see what happens now. Are we ready? I have some level of communication. No. No. Not working. Not getting anything. Wait. Putty says it's inactive. Why is it inactive? Restart session. Oh. Let's turn this off. Turn it back on. Oh, look at that. Okay. I'm not sure if you folks saw that, but yeah, it's running its test. So now it's running through the memory test. I'm going to reset the cartridge. Oh, of course, reset's not going to work. Why is reset not going to work? It's a Rev A motherboard, and I haven't done a reset enhancement to this. Okay, well, we'll turn it off. And when we turn it back on, there we go. It tests the VIC. It goes through all of its tests. And then it shows it tests in color and 4K. Wow, we've got it working. It was that easy. Oh my gosh. What an amazing test setup. Thank you once again, Matt Desmond. I've been calling him Matthew. Matt, I'm sorry if you only go by Matt. Take this back. Okay, we're going to shut it down, and now we're going to plug in each one of these dead computers and see if it gives us any serial joy. So this is definitely up. I'm going to unplug this. I don't want to make any mistakes. And oh my gosh, this is a crazy test setup. So this is our known good. We'll put it back up here. Yeah. Let's start with the last one we were working with. If you recall, this one, and I'll just show you inside again. So we have known working chips, like all of these chips, the chips, the PLA, the VIC, the CPU, these character ROMs. These ones could be still suspect, but we'll if we can't get further than this, we will check them. These could be suspect here. I don't know. We're getting a gray line, but hopefully this test will give us a bit more information than what we have coming out of a blank screen. I'm going to show you what that blank screen looks like again, just as a reminder, or if this is the first video you've watched of mine. Here we go. Well, I shouldn't have turned it on with, once again, I didn't check the power. Okay, so no signal. Okay, I turn it on. And you can see down the side there, let's see if I can get this right. Down the side, you're going to see this very thin gray line. That means there's some voltage going. Whether it's a 5 volt or the 12 volt, I'm not sure. In these old machines, it was 5 and 12 volt. In newer machines, it's 5 volt and 5 volt. And sadly, if you, to the VIC-II, and if you use a new VIC-II chip in the old motherboards, that 12 volt goes into a 5 volt input and will blow the VIC-II chip. So don't do that. We have no LED here. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to sit here. We're going to reset our terminal here because we want to be able to capture that. Let's just reset terminal. We're going to plug our test harness in here, crazy as it is. Oh my gosh. This is the only thing about cartridges. Okay, hold on a second. It's the only thing about cartridges that don't have a cartridge box. It can be really difficult to line them up. This expander will help with that as well. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready? Will Des Test Max SL help me diagnose what's wrong with this computer? Gray bar? Oh no. All right. Okay, so I think this is telling me something for sure. So we know 5-volt coming out of here is absolutely fine. We see no LED light. We see a very dim on the cartridge port, very dim. Here, I'm just gonna shut that down. Huh. There's that can't be real. Okay, no, that's not real. No, there's no light on those. I'm sorry. All right, well, there should be failure music going here. Sadly, there's enough wrong with this board that Des Test Max SL is not helping us diagnose this. All right, well, time for us to get an oscilloscope and voltmeter out and start to validate, starting from the power in and working our way back, whether we're getting proper voltage. And I'm going to start with the 5-volt and work our way back because I'm not seeing a 5-volt LED show on this. I'll be right back. Then maybe we'll be ready once again. We're picking up where we left off yesterday in testing this Commodore 64. We were not able to use a diagnostic test cartridge to see anything. We know that these chips, through my other testing, are in good shape. So we're going to do some basic voltage testing here. And we're going to see what kind of voltages we're getting across the motherboard to help us determine what's going on here. So first things first, we're going to turn it on. You can see you get the gray bar over there, and I would expect that I'm going to be able to see 12 volts and 5 volts on the user port over here. So if I go on, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be here and here, and I don't know if you can see on the left side of the user port, we should be able to see, here, maybe if I do it like this, you'll be able to see right here and right here. We should be able to see 9 to 12 volts there. I'm not seeing any voltage there. Let's switch to DC, likely over here. There we go, we have 5 volts. So that we know is working. So we have a problem with 12 volts coming through. So we're going to check to see here on our voltage regulators whether we actually have 12. We're getting 5 to the board and to the chips. This explains, I'm just going to shut this off and turn it back on. This explains why we're seeing the VIC-II get power, but it's not displaying anything, and that's probably because it's not getting enough power. Actually, what I'll do here, if we aren't getting 12 volts over there, let me just unplug here, and we'll do a quick continuity check to see if we're even getting 12 volts to the board at all. Right now, I'll just do a basic continuity check. We know we're getting 5 volts, so with the switch off, we get nothing. With the switch on, we get a tone. And again, really hard to kind of reach in back here, but no tone on the 12 volts. No tone on the 12 volts coming from the switch. So, yeah, if we aren't getting power from the switch here, it's kind of hard for the rest of the computer to work. So you know what we're going to do? Yep, Bruce. We're going to just pull this board out of its case. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. It looks like all of the back RF/heat shield is intact. And as I'm undoing these screws, I'm noticing that, oops, one more, that the board seems that it's never been opened. Like, I don't think this has ever been worked on. Nice and clean. All right. Let's just remove that case. Yeah, I mean, let's keep that continuity going. So if I touch the same, I'm touching the same piece of metal here, we can hear the beep. We have continuity, right? If I touch across the pins with it off, it doesn't work. When I turn it on, it doesn't work. Now, it's a little easier to get at these from the bottom, but I should be able to get continuity on that there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of deoxit. Yep. A favorite of many. And we're going to just take this and we're going to just try to I don't know if you can see me. Okay, there, I saw it come out the back. And we're just gonna 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, well, let's just see if we get a little bit of continuity there, shall we? So we still have continuity here and here, and no continuity on the 12 volts. Well, how is the computer supposed to work if 12 volts doesn't come in and provide power to the rest of the board? This probably means I'm going to have to take that switch apart because it's not actually generating 12 volts. Very interesting. Let's just, before we start desoldering this board, which looks like it's never been desoldered before, let's fuse is good, and fuse is good. And absolutely no continuity from the 12 volts. Okay, one other thing I'm just going to check is we'll check to see. Now, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure 12 volts coming in here and here. Well, that's a little weird. There we go, 12 volts coming in. Okay, So we have 12 volts coming in, but we definitely don't have 12 volts going to anywhere else on the board. I think oh, that's interesting. We just buggered it completely. Or did I plug in the wrong video again? Or did my capture crash? Just see if my capture crashed. All right. There we go. Oh, hello, Poochie. Yes, you're a good boy. You go lie down for a minute. Dad's just going to check a couple things here. Okay. Yeah, so again, we're on 12 volts. We should see, we see 0.5 volts there, right? That's not gonna cut it. We should have also here, we should have on these voltage regulators. Oh, are we now getting, no power? Uh-oh. Looks like we are getting no power anymore. Not even 5 volts. Hold on a sec. I do have these safety mechanisms here to try and help us. Oh boy, have I just like... Well, I got one more idea. Just, boy, oh boy. Oh, I don't like the feeling of that. Let's see if I've created a switch problem now, a bigger switch problem than I already had. We'll go back to our ohm meter, and oh yeah, now both sides of the switch aren't working. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I'm not getting tone even across that. That would explain that. Okay. Okay. So, lots of clickety. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, lots of clicking. Oh, continuity. Okay. I got 5 volt continuity. I do not have 12 volt continuity. So this switch is definitely problematic. But why, if I'm getting 5 volts out of there now, why am I not getting 5 volts to the VDC? Why am I not getting 5 volts to the rest of the board? Once again, we'll check here. Nothing. 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 Huh. All right. Tough one. Do I need to spray a little bit of deoxit in there? Well, I've successfully made the board worse. Isn't that just fantastic? Unless, oh, hold on one second. Oh, did I do what I think I might have done? This is definitely off. Where's my thing here? So, did I blow the fuse? Aha! I blew the fuse. Probably from switching on and off too many times. All right. So the fuse is blown. We have a couple spares there. Shit. This is off. Let's double check that. Come on. Oh. Yeah, that works. Fuse doesn't. Fuse is dead. Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. Burn out right in the middle. So this is a 1.5 amp, 250 volt fuse. Okay, well, we'll have to get some of those. In the meantime, I'm 90% sure I have a known not working donor board for a fuse. This is a known working system, so I don't want to use that. It's this one here. So this should be fairly quick for me to pop the fuse out of. That thread is dead. Oh, there's a screw. There's a known working fuse. Something's falling around inside there. Doesn't sound good. Well, we always said this might become a donor system. So, uh-oh. There you are. Okay, new fuse installed from a donor system. That was the other Commodore 64 that we tested. Here we go. We now have 5 volts going through there. So power's off. Turn the power on. We'll just see if we get glow. There we go. We know that we have 5 volts again. If I take the multimeter, switch it into voltage mode, we should see that we have 5 volts. Yeah, it said negative, but that's okay. And again here, no voltage, no 12 volts coming through, even though we have 12 volts coming in. We know that 12 volts is not running through that switch, even when the switch is engaged. Yeah, this is going to require me to take the board apart and take this RF shield off the back and desolder this switch, and at the very least open it up and see what's going on inside it. I expect I will see burnt out contact and have to replace the switch. That is interesting. You know, that other dead board may or may not have a dead switch. Got some work to do. Here we go again. Now it's time to disassemble. So, continuity. Can you hear that? All right. We're going for the 5 volts here. No continuity. Switch is off. Switch is on. No continuity. Switch is still on. These are still working. Hopefully you can see that. I am on the same button. This switch is toast. I did deox it. You should see it in the other video, but if I didn't, all I was getting was 1 volt on any of the 5 volt signals, which isn't enough for this to run. I was getting no 9 to 12 volts coming in. I somehow was getting 12 volts off this regulator. Not sure how. Oh, geez, I thought I left this. So it's time to. We need a couple minutes for this to warm up, but I'm going to try my new power sucker here, straight in from China, and see how well it helps us desolder this this back plane, so I can just double check the back. I'm gonna have to pull the switch, and I'll start by wow, that's not exactly how I thought that would work. I'm gonna have to get one of those nicer ones, I think. Oh my goodness. But at least it can set on the table like that. Anyways, it says warning, if you suck it in, don't release it until you're until you're ready for it to spew out the front or something. I don't know. Well, let's just do a quick test here. Oh yeah, that's hot. Okay. It seems to be working just the way it advertises. Sweet. Well, I gotta get a second flow. So while we're waiting for that other iron to heat up, we're just going to go back to this board. This is becoming my donor board. And we're just going to do a quick little test here to make sure we have continuity. When the switch is off, we have no continuity. Okay, when the switch is on, we have continuity. When the switch is off, we have no continuity. When the switch is on, we have continuity. So this switch is good. So we'll prepare. You know what? I could have pulled the switch from the donor board, I guess. Just like I pulled the fuse. Yes, I blew a fuse because I was flipping the switch on and off, on and off, on and off. And guess what happened? I kind of made it go kaput. No more screws. There we go. Oh, lucky me. Another heat shield to remove. Okay. This is interesting. So we have serial number 326116 and then serial number UA085774. This is a 4025. And here we have the serial number P5364540. That's like the 5 millionth in let's see if I'm reading that right. Yeah, that is a P in Pennsylvania. I'll make sure to identify that this one is no longer viable, as we had talked about before. It's got this corrosion in here, this all in here, and then here, all the way along here. Like, I don't know. The switch works. Stuff was getting power. I think I gotta leave this for Dad and use it as a donor board. I don't trust all this mess. Maybe when I'm done with this, get the switch and spare fuses, maybe I'll try and backtrace to see where the problem is. But for right now, this thing is, oh God, it's horrifying. I don't know how all this puffiness is happening. It's underwater? Like, I don't know. It's too bad. It's a mostly socketed board. I mean, certainly I could, you can see that we had some bad chips out of here, including its VIC. Let's get back to this. I think, let's see, this is heated up already. Why did I just do that from the beginning? All right. Irritating shield is gone. Let's double check our power switches here. All right. That might be ground. Okay, so up. Continuity between this and this. No continuity. No continuity. Did I put it the wrong way? Nope. Nope. That's good. Just okay, just look at the bottom of this board. This is insane. I mean, I don't know. It's no wonder this board didn't work. I mean, oh, look at those traces. Okay, well, this thank goodness is a harvestable, you know, we want it type of board. We're just gonna, you know, I'm gonna do before I do that. I should just strip everything off this board, I think. Yeah, this board I cut I cut all the stuff off the back of this board. I gotta figure out, look at that. That's a nice control plate. That's worth $5. Har, har, har. Okay, let's have a look. Let's try this zoom. Let's see if we can make this look really cool. Yeah, my way. Everything's in my way. Okay, so here we go. Let's try not to damage. No, nothing yet. Just wait until it flows, Aaron. Oh, it's not a great view for you. There we go. You can see that. Wow, these things are like in here mondo. All right, so other than a little mishap with spraying solder all over my board, not bad. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup on these, but certainly this one came out easier. Be very careful. That one looks like it's about to lift. Now, to that point, here we go. Let's just double check our connections and make sure we haven't killed anything. So this is the bad one that came out. Nothing and nothing. This is the good one that came out, and it shows connectivity. So we're going to put a good one back in here. And yeah, I know I didn't clean up the ends or anything. Let's make sure we, this is our new switch. Very happy to see. Fits just fine. Just before we solder, let's just double check it. This is our good board. Okay. Across here like so to try and keep it kind of in place. I don't know what else I can do. I can find a tool that's relatively stable like that. Oh yeah, there we go. You see that? Yeah, but it's not like right in your face. Right in your face. There we go. Let's see what happens when we try to zoom in here. There we go. Do just a little bit of flux. Nice. Put the cap back on. Get our lots of solder out. Get our soldering iron, which isn't on. Be right. Okay, finally, let's go here. There we go. That is looking pretty good. All right. So, without burning down the house, let's test what we've just done. Shall we? Go back to our regular zoom here. All right. Connectivity. Good. 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 Okay. Uh-oh. But these lines don't go anywhere. So, make sure we don't have 12 to 5 bleed. All right, now we turn on the power switch. There we go. Gonna take a pause here. All right. Time to just do a little bit of cleanup here. Some isopropyl alcohol. Not too bad. This side doesn't need any cleanup. All right. I guess this means I should get ready here with some moment of truth stuff. Let's get some power and let's see if we see any. Let's make sure that's off. Let's see if we see a screen. We have, holy shit! It was a switch. Oh my gosh. We have a ready prompt. Wow. That took me way too long. I gotta improve my soldering skills. Off goes the soldering iron before I forget. Heck yeah. Look at that. Full on ready. Wow, I'm going to plug in the test cartridge next, and let's just do our test here. Let me make sure I know that I've got the right test up. So that's all it was. It had a dead power switch. We'll We'll pry this one open and see if we can resurrect it. I'm just trying to remember if any of these, I think all these came from this unit. Okay, let's see what our card says here. Our DES test max going through a check. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't anything else wrong with this, but ooh, I can't wait. I'm going to go up and edit this video right away once I kind of pass tests. Can you tell I'm excited? I'd be like, hey, the cartridges weren't telling me what was wrong. I had to dig into it. It's the first time I've really dug that deep into a Commodore 64. Well, I mean, replacing a PLA, but I had video. This one, all I had was that gray line, and every test cartridge I put in didn't tell me anything. Okay, it passes the DES test. Let's go on to we'll go back to normal mode. Oh wait, let's do a dead test and see if it does anything. Oh, here we go. Here. Oh. Hey, there we go. Yeah, that pause gets me every time. Every time. Wow, can you tell I'm excited? All right. This is awesome. If you ever watch The Matrix, this in The Matrix, he downloads all this information and he comes out and says, oh no. What does he say? Oh no, what did I do? Here, hold on a sec. We just lost signal while, oh no. No. This is not good. Did I do something wrong? Okay, hold on a sec. Did you guys tell me, did I like fizzle something out? Let's see if we can get blue screen again. Oh dear. Something else not in tolerance? Oh. Oh. Oh, I don't like it when things just kind of fix themselves. Let's try this again. We may have another problem here. Okay. That's a bit normal. No, that's not normal. Ooh, cold solder somewhere? Huh. Okay. We have a different problem here. That feels right. Huh. Did I inadvertently create a cold solder on the power switch? Because my soldering skills are so crappy. I don't want to tap it. I want to let it finish its test. Let's let it get through a dead test. Let's do a harness, diagnostics. And then we're going to see if this is kind of like intermittent or not. Okay, so it's gone through its test once. Why? Yeah, it's gonna... I'm not getting anything funny. There we go again. Okay, so we're going to shut that. Okay, once again. Here we go. Let's see if this actually works. Double check I have this off. There we go. There we go. This one is controller 1. This is controller 2. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the keyboard off and set it aside. We're going to put the keyboard validation unit on. Nice. Okay. Everybody's recording. Should still have it on the basic test. Here we go. Survey says, hey, we have testing happening. Excellent. So, and I do have my spare SID chip over here. Okay. RAM 1, 2. So we're going to get an error with the SID chip. That's okay. We're expecting that as long as everything else passes. There we go. Control, and of course the control port, because the SID does affect the control port. So we're going to turn that off, and we're going to install this SID chip, as dead as it is. We're going to turn that back on, and we're going to get more testing. And while we're doing that, no, I'm going to let that run through. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to test, I don't know what we're going to test next. We're going to do some temperature checks and see if anything's getting a little toasty as we allow it to continue to go through its cycle of checks. And of course, we can't hear the sound because this is a bad SID. And I haven't got another SID. Oh, I do have another SID. No, do I have another known working SID? I might have another SID I can pull. Hold on a sec. Well, that didn't turn out as I expected. In my haste and preparation for the World of Commodore, as you can see here, I had a number of machines that I was working on and filming for that I have yet to release those films because I just ran out of time. This unit, I missed recording the final test where it passed with flying colors with that replacement SID. When I got it set up at the show, it was working fine for the first couple hours, and then the display started to flicker again. So I decided to turn it into a learning moment and just open the case up to show that it was still under repair, and it still didn't have a SID anyways. Luckily, sitting next to me was David Bradley. and he said, "Hey, why don't you take take it out of the unit, and we'll see if it really is the VIC-II that was causing the issue." And we got down to the point that it wasn't the VIC-II, and I ran out of time during the day because it was so busy on the Saturday to actually do anything about it. But Saturday evening, a number of the vendors got back together and exhibitors, including Matt Desmond, who came over, and him and I, using the Matt Des test cartridge that I premiered in this fix, to ultimately isolate what we thought the problem was, and it was one of the supporting chips. And when I pulled this chip, I can't even read it myself, but I believe it's U22 or U27. I found that when I had originally pulled it out and reseated it to make sure that it had a clean connection, I bent over 2 pins. And that's what was causing the flickering that you saw in the earlier part of the video. Needless to say, after about only 25 minutes and maybe a few libations, we were able to get the machine fully tested, working, closed up, and considered ready for the World of Commodore show. So thank you for David Bradley for helping me out. Thank you to Matt Desmond and everybody else that was gathering around and showing interest. We actually did find a SID chip from 2 other boards that I purchased that day. So this machine is fully complete, operational with a working SID chip. And all the other units that you saw on display there will definitely have videos made for all of them, and I'm looking forward to sharing those with you. But a huge thanks to both Dave and Matt for hanging out and playing around with so many units and repairing them. So another successful fix, or quasi-successful fix. I actually made it worse than made it better. And what an excellent show the World of Commodore show was, hosted by the Toronto Pet User Group. I certainly will be looking forward to going back and continuing to engage. So until next time, until the next repair, this is Aaron at 1 Maybe 2 Retro. Cheers.